Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is codelibrary.net tutorial. It all video series that we learning about C# programming language with the .NET technology. We learn to build anything with C# program in .NET. In the video, I would like to talk about how to use controller-based API in ASP.NET. Let's go to see example and the series of how to create API in ASP.NET. Last video we learned about tutorial how to create minimal API with ASP.NET Core. Overview of API. API is a following to use methods that we can use get with parameter, post, patch, and delete. All method that we use to connect between front end and server, or we call back end. And the simple way that we work in APIs action is request. Request is made by client that we use which one of this method that we use by client is we call request. Mean that we request something to servers, and server will respond if it exists. It will respond to by the text format thing. So API in ASP.NET we use two types of API: minimal APIs, and the example we see the last video how to create project with minimal web API. In the video, I would like to show you how to start for beginner to create web APIs as a controller-based API templates. So let's get started. We go to controller-based API, and you click create controller-based APIs project in with ASP.NET Core, as you can see here. And the simple way is controller-based API is different from minimal API because it uses MVC, mean that the API templates, API project that we use controller, or we use MVC. And the same is we use methods of API is get with parameter, post, and delete. As you can see, the client make request via HTTP method, where the controller will read and write data to access, and it will be make the response to client with the JSON file to client. So you can get started with by using IDE, Visual Studio Code, or Visual Studio. In Visual Studio, and you can create a project. I will take the following step by step in how to get started with create web API in ASP.NET Core web APIs with controller-based API, and something that you can learn easy how to get started in this tutorial. So now let's get started. We can open Visual Studio 20 and 22, and in the same way the last video I create another project in minimal API, and we create a simple file with the HTTP for make request, and you can test with the minimal API is already done and successful with testing a small API with the minimal API. So in this video I can create a new project. Right click and click new project, and you can choose another template because we create the API with MVC. So I can choose ASP.NET Core web API project. I can click next, and I can name controllers base API. you click next and choose .NET framework target, and .NET framework you can choose .NET 8 or .NET 9, .NET 10. .NET 8 is a long-term support, and anything is you not necessary to uncheck or make it change, so you can click button create. And now you have another project is called controller based APIs. So if I want to select start project, I can select this project, set as startup project. And now you can see program.cs. We have and structure UI for running uh, API endpoints with the structure UIs inside here, and use a controller for mapping. We use controller, and HTTP is redirect to its. So this is the pipelines for using the make the request. You can use structure UI or HTTP request direct inside this IDE. So let's get started. In order to practice here, I can create another file here, such as right click on project. I add new item, and I can scroll down and to see HTTP file. I can rename it here as my request.http and click add. So inside here I can make any URI format for make send request to server by using methods get, put or post. Inside this file, my request.http is a file for making routes by using full REST API, full REST APIs for making requests to server. I can say get because I want to test with my controller, and HTTP, and I can say localhost. You can see ports. When you try to find port, you can run the first project in order to see port. You can format with the port because HTTP and HTTPS have two different port for runs. And here you can see method HTTPS have another port is 7099, and HTTP method have that run on localhost. The port is different, is it here. So I can copy here this, and I can make this route for get methods, okay, and slash. So with this you can run without controller, mean that when you after ports and slash, mean that you will route to controller because it's a controller based API. Okay, you must route after this port, and you must route to controller in order to make request. So I can go to controller and see something here. So after this you can see HPI controller and route. You can route with controller in order to make the request. Okay, and here is you can copy this HTTP get. You can copy this and put then you can put weather forecast. This is the controller. This is a simple way to make request with API. You can test with API here. So you can then you can save and you can send request. You can see it's not found. Okay, maybe something is different. Okay, if it's not found, you can go to see controller again. What the controller name? Okay, this controller is copy this controller class name of controller class again, and maybe you have to change the name of controller class because it server is respond 404 and it's not found. it will stay for code for response from server. If it okay, it see something or server is okay, it respond 200 okay. So now you can place with this. You can pass with the name of controller again, and maybe this time is will be correct. So you can test API again. You can click send request again. Okay, this time is okay. 200 and okay status is it will respond with the application as a JSON file, and you can see your data here. It reads server reads successful and make the response to client. Okay, this is a simple way that you can your API, use your controller based API in ASP.NET Core. I will extend more project, and I will take samples with the project, but this is the first how introduce about how to use controller based API. Thank you for watching this video, and I will make the example and using project with the web API using both minimal API and web API in the real world project. Thank you. Please subscribe. See you next video.